the chief of staff. Feel free to come by and say hello. I'm at the 2121 building. So first, let's do a few housekeeping things. Make sure your cell phones are cut off. Please place them on vibrate. We have refreshments for those of you just coming in over to the right. And then the restrooms, women's restroom over to the left, my left, men's restroom over to the right. Again, thank you for coming. We're going to start the program with an invocation from our own Reverend Paul Williams with the Beulah Baptist Church of Bessemer. He's a Max Facilities employee.
Let us bow our heads that we might pray. Most precious and all-wise God, we come again with bowed heads and humble hearts, thanking thee for this another expression of your love, how you spared us from the earliest existence of our cradles until this present moment. We bow to say thank you for the progress of Max, as we who, the employees, depending on such a force for our livelihood to sustain our families. Oh God, you've been more than kind and wonderful toward us, and we bow to say thank you that we're able to meet our financial obligations through our employment. You've been better to us than we've been to ourselves, and we thank you. A special thanks for new leadership who's concerned enough about all of us to care that we make progress and maintain a level of joy in each family. Oh God, as we bow today, we bow to say thank you for the fellowship, meeting and greeting on a daily basis, where we can smile and share smiles one with another, and then being concerned about our workload. One team, one goal, everyone helping one another. Thank God, especially for Sister Ann August, who's doing a telling job in leading us in a positive direction. Bless now all homes that are represented here today in a special manner. For it's in the mighty name of Jesus that we do pray and ask it all. Amen. Amen.
We'd like to call up one of our own, Sanchez, to serenade us this afternoon.
Good afternoon. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. In heaven, give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
public transit. And a few of the riders and some of our employees and the union was out there yesterday. So J.O., I want you to come up just for a moment, and we're going to chant what you were chanting yesterday so we can introduce our leaders.
Good evening. There's a lot going on, and yesterday was something that is not going on here in Birmingham. It's going on across the nation in Canada, because whether you know it or not, if you listen to the news, transportation is now under attack. They're attacking anybody they can. But I'm going to do something real quick. When the congressmen go to bed at night, I want you to listen closely. This is what they hear. Nothing. On May 20th, I pass out some papers. There's 2 sheets. Your congressmen and representatives on that page. On Tuesday, we are asking you to call them. I don't care if you have to call all day long. Between Canada and the United States, we transport about 38 million people a day. We want 15 million calls to go into Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. The International is sending 3,000 right now. I was supposed to have been there, but something happened and I couldn't go. The first time, ATU Local 725 won't be represented, but my heart is there. This is not about union. This is about all of us. We have to join together. We are one team, one goal. Please, on Tuesday, whatever time you call, please call your congressman. Let them know you want them to support funding for public transportation. We're going to do a little chant I did yesterday. What we do when we go to the ATU in meetings, even though we have 500 or 600 in there, but we are very loud. I want you to repeat after me with a strong voice. Fired up, and ready to go. Fired up, and ready to go. Fired up, and ready to go. Fired up, and ready to go.
Please welcome Ann August. Good afternoon. You still fired up and ready to go? All right. You gonna catch the Max Spirit? All right. We get ready to sail. Gotta be ready. At this point, before I get into my remarks, I would like for one of our board members who's here to come up and give remarks on behalf of the Max board. Ms. Patricia Henderson, Director Henderson. Good evening. Good evening. Y'all fired up? Ready to go. I like that. On behalf of Jefferson County Transit Authority board member, I would like to say thank you all for taking out this time to come out to hear what we have to say. And of course, if you see me or see any other board members, let them know what's going on with Max. So far, I've been out in the community. A lot of you all know I work in the community a lot, and I've been hearing some great things, and I love to hear that. In the last 2 years, going on 3 years of being a board member, a lot of things have changed, and a lot of changes have gone in the right direction, and that's because of you all. So if you don't mind, please give yourself a hand today. We cannot do our job unless we try to make sure you're doing your job. So by that, thank you all for doing what you have done, and please continue to do more, because we're looking for some positive things ahead of us. If you listen to our director, she's letting you know what's coming ahead. So many people have come up to me and said they hear good things about the things that we're trying to do here at Birmingham Jefferson County Transit Authority, okay? So you all keep up the good work, and we appreciate everything that you are doing, because of you, you make us look good. So y'all continue to do what you're doing, and I guarantee you all, and I really mean this, we really appreciate what you all are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
the time out today to be here. Before I get started, first I give honor and praise to my Creator, who allows me to be here on this earth and to be in this place at this time. And to all the kings and queens that we have here in the audience today, because you got to take your rightful place. If you don't think you're a king or a queen, then you probably need to leave. Because I'm only talking to kings and queens today, okay? I'm glad that you took time from your busy schedules. Even though we do not classify this meeting as a mandatory meeting, it's important that you come out once a quarter to find out exactly what is going on, not only at MAX, but what's going on that we are associated with. One of the things that I want you to keep in mind as well, we are agents of economic and social change. We help provide mobility options for those that go to work, school, training, medical facilities, and to improve each other's quality of life. If we are not here, can you imagine if we weren't here in Birmingham or Transfer was not in New York City or DC or any of your metropolitan cities, what gridlock they would have in those areas. So we have to always remember we've got to have good quality public transportation. And what we're trying to do is to get that here more in Birmingham. I want to let you meet a person who went with me and became the international, repeat, international customer service challenge winner. That is no small feat. There were 70 transportation companies represented, 25 made the short list, 7 actually made the competition, the final competition. And what it is where you have an individual that gets up on stage as an operator in a simulated bus. You got people sitting in the bus and you got different scenarios coming on the bus as the operator is sitting there. And you know, as operators, those that are operators know that you get involved with different types of simulations every single day. All of the people that were actors, as I call them, or actresses in this simulation were actually bus operators from Kansas City. So they knew exactly what they were doing, and they brought in simulation type problems that they encountered on a regular basis. Of those 7 that participated, they were from different places, Orange County, California, Columbus, Ohio, and other places as well. And one of the things that our operator, even though all of those other operators were saying, we've been here 3 times in a row, we've done this over and over again, this is your first time. And of course, our operator says it might be your first time and I'm taking home to go. And of course, it was her birthday on that same day that they announced the winner on Tuesday. She turned 35 years old. I'm telling her age because she put it in the paper, so it's public knowledge. And we were so proud to be able to go there and be able to bring this home. So, Ms. Adamson, would you please come forward?
Good morning or afternoon. Ms. Irish, awesome. This has been a extremely beautiful opportunity. I had the opportunity to share some time with my coworkers that I had not known, and we had a really, really good time in Kansas City. It was exceptional. But this award that I won in customer service, I'm not a selfish person. So I can't celebrate this and feel good about celebrating this if you all don't celebrate with me. One team, one goal. EJPTA, give yourself a hand clap. We did it. Congratulations.
We had other, thank you, Addison. We had other individuals that went with us too. We had the maintenance team that competed in the maintenance competition. This was their first time going. Well, last year was the first time going. This was the second time going since the early 90s. So in essence, we've had transit systems competing in an international maintenance rodeo since 1982. But this was the first time that they've gone back since 1990 something. So, you know, it was great for them to be able to get back in the mix, to understand exactly what's going on out there in the industry, because I tell people all the time, the more you know, the more you grow. If you don't know anything, then you're gonna stay stagnated with just exactly where you are. We can't do things the same way we've been doing it and think we're gonna get a different result. It doesn't work, okay? So we have to get out of our comfort zone and begin to do things differently. The world is changing. I remember when we carried bag phones. The old big bag phones now. And then of course, you know, I call it the brick phones. You know, they were kind of big and heavy. And now we got the little small cell phones, okay? That you can take pictures and do a lot of different things with. We also had our vehicle operators. We have another vehicle operator that went to, Miss Anithia Effinger. I would like for her to come up and give a few remarks regarding her trip. And then we had two supervisors that went. We had Alan Martin on the operator side, and then we had Clinton Haley on the maintenance side. And I want them to just kind of give just a little few remarks as to their experience, because it was their first time ever going to a national conference like this. And you're talking about 3,000 or 4,000 people that was at this particular conference. So Sanithia, come on up, girl.
I want to thank God for everything. I want to thank my family and friends who supported me. I want to thank Ms. Harris, who still believes in all of us, no matter what situation. She still has faith. House lady and cool. Ms. Adams, I'm very proud of you. You did a wonderful job. I want to say to Quentin, Alan, Dan, Jonathan, JC, and JC White, who supported all of us and who was a team. Thank you. I had a good time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Allen.
Good afternoon. My name is Alan Martin. I'm a supervisor for Max Birmingham Transit. What I'd like to share with you all was my most exciting part of the trip. It wasn't a whole lot for me to do there, so what I did was just make sure Sanithia and Keontae had whatever they needed. But I found out later on that I could ride with the road supervisor as well as sit in the dispatch office with Kansas City agency. So what I did was I rode half of that morning with the road supervisor and learned a lot. And y'all will not believe the facilities that they have. They have 200 buses and 500 employees. So you can imagine the facility that they have. The building was just humongous, buses everywhere. And what I was most impressed about was the workout room, the gym. They had one gym at the facility, and then a new gym they just built across the parking lot. It was just huge with state-of-the-art equipment. But it was a nice trip, and if y'all never go anywhere with Miss August, please wear some tennis shoes. We look like little ducks behind walking downtown. But we had a good time, and I'm pretty sure she probably gonna give me 3 days suspension because I beat her at this, what was the bad game thing? So she was gonna whoop me. Yeah, she was beating me at first, so she was playing serious, so I know I had to, you know, be for real with her to beat her. So, but we had a good time. So, thank you.
The game was a bag toss. That's what it was. He beat me by 1 point. I told him that was at my weakest moment. Yeah, the experiences that the operators and maintenance team go through is really good. They even attend classes as well at the particular conference. And I'll let Quentin come up to give a few remarks on behalf of the maintenance side too.
My roommate.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to thank Ms. Augustine, Board of Directors, for giving us this opportunity to participate. The rodeo is part of the event, but it's by far not the event. The things that you learn when you split up in the groups. I had the opportunity to attend Maintenance Monday, and the things that you learn about other properties. We look at ourselves one way here in Birmingham, but we are not off the bat. You know, we're right on the mark. You know, everybody else, whether they are 2, 3, 4 times the size of Birmingham, have the same issues we have. You know, what I do, or what I would like to do, is to encourage more of our employees to participate in the local rodeo. Participate. You'd be surprised, you know. It's not a picnic. We had a good time. Lord knows we did. But they make sure you get the information that you need. They make sure you get the training you need, you know. So anyone that's fortunate to go, you will come away with something that's gonna benefit you in this arena we in. Public transportation is nothing like anywhere else. When it's about food, this is a whole different ballgame, you know. And so the more information you get from other regions, other parts of the country, the better you'll be able to do your job, you know. I come away with a whole different perspective than what I did when I left it, you know. And I wish we could take everybody, you know, and then be surprised at what Birmingham will be. And I thank, again, Ms. August and Board of Directors for giving us this opportunity. Maintenance Department, step up. Next year it's gonna be different. I know what we need to do now. Step up. Step up. Thank you.
I guess the maintenance department has their challenge now because when you don't know, you can't grow. So now that individuals are going to these various conferences, they're learning all the various different things that they need to know. And we're asking that you just continue to step up to the plate because we're trying to put in a succession plan as well for those that are, I call it in the seasoned ranks. Over the next 10 years, those individuals are going to be moving out. So we need to ensure that we grow from within. We need to make sure that everybody who's in these jobs understand what the jobs are, what the rules and regulations are on the federal level as well as on the state and local levels. Because we can't move forward if we're not keeping up with those rules and regulations. They put us behind. We need to remember that. Also, we have our paratransit operators that will be going to the CTAA, which is the Community Transportation Association of America. That conference is in June in St. Paul, Minnesota. So we have 4 individuals that will be attending that particular session, and basically they do the same thing. They don't have a customer service challenge, but they have to, in essence, do what they do on a daily basis with their paratransit vehicles. They have to take a written test. They also have to strap in a passenger in a wheelchair, put the passenger on the vehicle, and they're timed when they're doing this. Also, they have to talk through everything they're doing with the passenger as that passenger is getting on that vehicle to not avoid, or I should say, so they don't offend the passenger as they're trying to pull the strap across them. So they go through a process, and this is the things that we're supposed to do on a daily basis. So once you start doing these things, it's a reinforcement for you. The more you do it, the more you like to do it, and the better at it you get. So we want to remind you about that. We have a lot of different things that are coming up. Just want to remind you, as of May 1st was the beginning of the construction period for the new intermodal center. So if anybody that's running around Central Station, you will see that the dirt over there where the old area was that was vacant, they started digging it up. That's where the parking lot's going to be, and also that's where they're going to put the modular building. And we will begin to shift. Once that's completed, we will shift the customer service people and the passengers over to that modular building, and that's where they will load and unload at that particular area. The fence will go up around Central Station, and they will begin to tear that down. So the progress has started. They're looking at December of 2015 as being the deadline date. They say 18 to 24 months, but of course you know how construction is. If it does go and end December of 2015, that will be fantastic because it will be the 65th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott. So that will be a significant time frame if we can get the building completed during that period of time and be ready to move in. So I want to, of course, put that out there to you so that way you'll know that when you start seeing a lot more trucks and things over in that area, safety and precaution is number one. We have to make sure that we watch those trucks going in and out. Also, we have, Dump the Pump coming up, and that's in June. That's going to go before the board this month. So if everything is approved by the board, then June 19th is Dump the Pump Day. That is where we offer free transportation to passengers. It went over extremely well last year. We had a lot of publicity about it, and we want to do the same thing again this year. So we're, Director Henderson, pass the message on with the board members that we need this approved when the meeting comes up this week. And then I think also we want our counselor to ride the bus too. I think that'd be a great thing to get all of our counselors to ride the bus. I think that would be great. Also, as a reminder, J.O. talked about the fact that Tuesday is Call Your Elected Officials Day on the congressional side, because as of September the 30th, the highway bill, or as we call it, the highway bill, but it's really the transportation bill, will actually end September 30th. So we want to make sure that all of our congressional delegation actually vote positively for that bill, because we're operating right now on basically a 2.5-year bill that should have been a 6-year bill, and that's why it's ending. The Highway Trust Fund is going to run out of money, and the Highway Transportation Fund is going to run out of money on the federal side. So we have to be extremely cautious about, informing everybody as much as possible to let them know that they need to vote favorably for this bill. We don't want crumbling highways, we don't want crumbling bridges, and we definitely do not want them to take away our capital money on the federal side that we can get buses and facilities for. Everybody knows that we need a maintenance facility, operations facility. It floods every time that we have a major rain. People have lost cars. We got to get away from that. So we have to ensure that there are federal dollars and then that we can get the local match on the local side as well. Been meeting a lot with a lot of the municipalities outside of Birmingham, Hoover, Vestavia, Irondale, Bessemer, all of these other areas that we currently do service in areas that we don't do service in, like Clay, Trussville. If you live in those areas, because I know we do have people that live in those areas, please talk to your local officials to let them know that we need to have transportation, we need their support. We have a lot of people that call all the time that can't get to certain places because they can start out in Birmingham, but it doesn't go to where they need to go, like in Trussville or Irondale or some of those other places. So we need to make sure that we get these things done. Also, just want to let you know too, and to thank everybody who participated when the Secretary came. Some of you might have been aware that the Secretary of Transportation came into town. We were blessed with that. That is something that he did not get every city. He picked selected areas that he wanted to go to, and 2 reasons that he came to Birmingham. One is because we had the hydrogen fuel cell bus, which is a pilot program that the feds are funding. Number 2 is because we were in the process of doing the intermodal center. So he wanted to come to this area, and of course, this is the cradle of civil rights as well. So he wanted to come to this area to ensure that his presence was known here. So that's a plus for the agency as well, because it was published in their national magazines and all of that too. So, you know, all the positiveness that's going on, we need to make sure that all the employees jump on the bandwagon. If you were complacent before, we don't need you to be complacent now. The wave is going. They say a rising tide lifts all boats. We need to make sure that these boats continue to stay up. So if you see somebody doing something they're not supposed to do, pull a coattail. Tell them you don't want them to do that, because we need to move in a positive direction. And the more that we move in a positive direction, other people and other municipalities will take note, and they will begin to support the agency. Because when I go to some of these places, the first thing they say is, well, you know, you got a bad history, you know, over there. And I said, no, we can't talk about spilled milk. We can't talk about the things that happened before. We're starting from now, and we're creating a new picture. We are asking you to contribute to the paint, so we can paint a new picture. We can't do it if you're not willing to support us. You know, we can't deal with all the stuff that's happened before. We can't deal with that. We're just gonna move from now and move forward. Because the more that, like I keep saying, the more that we know, the more we can grow. But you gotta know your industry. You gotta know the changes that are taking place in your industry. It's not just a job. You're a change agent. Remember that. I tell people that our operators are more important than an airline pilot. Why? You don't have a stewardess on your bus to take care of passengers. You gotta do that as well. So when you get on that bus every morning, those that are operators, not only do you have to maintain that bus, you have to maintain what's going on that bus. You know, all of our vehicles don't have cameras on it. And we have to remember that every time you get on that bus. If there's no camera on that bus, it becomes your word against somebody else as to what happens on that bus. Our goal is to get cameras on every vehicle that we have. We want to get automatic passenger counters on every vehicle that we have. We need to know exactly how many people are getting on at what bus stop at any given time. So the counselors, when they're going to argue why we need additional funding for the agency, they can say, well, we got 45 people getting on at bus stop number so-and-so. They can't do that if we don't have the facts to give it. So we have to be able to get that as well. We want GPS systems in our vehicles, so we'll know where every vehicle is at any given time. Things are happening out there, people. We need to know where the vehicles are. If something happens out there and the radio goes out, we need to be able to track you somehow on AVL or something.
That's right.
All your major systems have it. Birmingham does not. So we need to be able to advance forward and get some of these things. So that way we don't sit up here with egg on our face trying to figure out, oh, I didn't know our vehicle was over there because the radio's not working. And it helps our supervisors who are now in a zone concept. We've changed the way that we were doing things before. All vehicles, all supervisors are in a zone concept now. So that way we know exactly what supervisor is in what zone. We're getting ready to do that, especially on the paratransit side, so we'll know what operators are operating in what zone. Because that helps us to maintain accountability and responsibility. Take the responsibility for what we're doing. We have to do that. Also, we had several promotions that took place at the agency over the last month or so too, and we want to thank and congratulate all those individuals who wanted to step up to the plate because it's a new day. We can't say that a new day is coming. The new day is here, okay? And I want all the employees that are here, that have been here in less than 4 months, to please stand. And the employees that we've hired in the last 4 months, please stand. This is your new economic base. These individuals have been contributing their salaries, and we want to thank them for being a part of the MAX team. Because we don't go to people's houses and pull them out and tell them they need to work for MAX. These people have to come voluntarily, to come to want to work for the agency. So we appreciate them taking the time to do that. And always remember that safety and security is number one. I will cut my remarks short for a little bit because transit is my passion, 34 years. So I can continue to do this all day, but you don't have all day. We have these people need to talk. Okay, before I sit down, I would like for someone to come up. Mr. Mike Crittenden, would you please come forward, please? that don't know Mike that might be here, Mike is our operations director. Mike is going to be leaving us because of another opportunity that he has to really go back home to his hometown in Albany, Georgia. So I tell folks, you can't hold a good person down. If they have an opportunity to go somewhere, don't hold them. Don't hold them back, because we don't know when God opened those doors and pour those blessings down. So we have to accept the fact that he's going to be leaving us. I wanted to kill him when he told me about it, but that's okay. You know, I've asked the Lord to help me with this, but we'll move forward. But one of the things that I wanted to present to him is a certificate of award presented to Demetrius Mike Rittenden. Special thanks for advancing the goals and objectives of Max Transit, and is presented by me today on behalf of the board of directors and the Max employees. We wish him well. He's not going to go yet. You know, I still have a phone call to make to his employer that he's going to. But he's going to continue to assist us until we, you know, kind of get another person on board. But his last day was supposed to be Tuesday. I'm trying to talk him into Thursday. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. But we wish him well. And
good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm going to be very brief. First, I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity of actually coming here and the opportunity to work with you all. Ms. August has already said a lot of things that I was going to say, and basically it is that we're moving in the positive direction, and all that happened because of you all willing and wanting to participate in going forward. I was having a conversation with one of the group of operators, and I told them I was a stoker. They said, "What's that? Stoker or poker?" I said, "I'm the one that comes and stirs up the fire." Okay? So you all have to keep that fire burning. So keep moving forward, and as she said, and as I always say, you are your brother's keeper. So if you see someone doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, pull their coattail, pull them to the side, and let them know. That way, management won't have to do it for you. You all do it yourself and demonstrate to your supervisors that you don't need them looking over your shoulder to get your job done. They're there to support you. They're not there to look over your shoulder and be police. They're there to support you and come up to you and say, "Is there something I can help you with today?" That's what we want to get to. Again, thank you all, and you have my phone number and my email address. Please use it. Thank you.
I just want to recognize one of our other board members that made it, Ms. Bakari Malden. Would you please stand? Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. I know that on a Sunday afternoon it's kind of difficult, especially when people have their families that they're trying to take care of before Monday comes in. So we appreciate you taking the time to be here. And at this time, we will go to the next person on the list, which is our ATU 725 President Dale Hill. Unless you have something else you have to say.
I'm not going to prolong the meeting because we have a union meeting at 4 o'clock. And I informed Ms. August that I would have to leave about 3:30. But for those of you that still want to come, even though you'll be late, I normally jump on you, but I won't jump on you for being late. I'll wait on you this time. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, Ms. Barbara Murdoch will come back to the podium.
I have the honor of introducing some of our special guests today. We talk about one team, one goal. I guess that carries on for life because these two people are retired bus drivers who want to be a part of, who relish being a part of our team still today. They participated as judges in our bus rodeo. I called them at the last minute and they were just more than willing to participate. So we asked them to come back and just say a few words to you to let you know that you don't leave us even after you retire. We have Paulette Roby, who has more than 13 years as a bus driver, and Gabriel Green, he retired from Max after 40 years. Good evening. Gabriel,
Jefferson County Transit Authority. Well, we found out when we was there that Birmingham Jefferson County Transit is the heart of Max, okay? But I'm here just to say, when I was a driver, as I started in the transit company, I began in the office. And the love that I had for the bus operators and how they was so much like a family until I wanted to go out and challenge myself to be a driver, and that I did. And when we was driving, I took time to find out as much as I could about transit. I had one of the general managers to tell me, Rick Brown, he said to me, wherever they put you in the transit company, you learn all you can, because one day it will be beneficial for you. And I found that out. When I was driving, Gable was one of the ones who taught me some of the ropes of driving, and safety was the most important thing that was taught to us. I see a lot of times when I'm out in the street now driving, I drive the bus route all the time. I have a reason for driving the bus route, because I know it's less traffic lights. You don't have everybody just, like it is on the freeway. So I also see sometimes I would blink my lights at the driver that's coming toward me. We had a thing where we would blink our lights at each other when we pass each other. We would salute to each other. It causes us to come together and just be a family. And that is what I find that a lot of these drivers, you all are not paying attention to those lights flashing. Those lights are flashing for a reason. That was a way of us communicating with one another. We could communicate. He might have been coming inbound, I might have been going outbound, but he could flash those lights and let me know the supervisor We had our way of communicating, and I just wanted to tell you also that we had pride in what we did. We was committed to our jobs. We was taught to position that vehicle. You can make that vehicle do anything you want it to do if you position it, okay? So you guys come together, stay together. You're doing a good job, but I just want you guys to pay attention, okay?
I'm a little shy, and I didn't want to be here, but I'm here, and I'm proud to be here. I spent those 39 years, it's not 40, it's 39 years back. When I started out as a young guy, I thought I wanted to be an airplane pilot, but I realized I'm afraid of flying. So then I started, when they say driving a bus, that ain't never crossed my mind. But the Lord was in the plan, because that's the best job that I ever had. And I think the world of being a Birmingham Transit bus driver. And that's one of the reasons I stayed as long as I did. But the way that things are going now under the new director, which I've only seen twice since I've been here, that if I knew she was there, I might have worked till I'm 40. An older driver told me that I would try to pass along to you all, is that, not Birmingham, I said Birmingham, bus transportation is one job that will always be in a progressive city. He says, as long as that city stands, they will always need some type of transportation. So you all need to realize that you got a permanent job, that transportation will always be available, not available, but it should be demanded in each city. And I hope Birmingham keep progressing like they have. And a lot of time I ride the bus just to more or less aggravate you drivers. I ask them questions just to see, how they respond. And then when they don't respond right, then I show them who I am, And so I just do that for aggravation, because I'm concerned and I care about transit, and I always try to deal with being a member of Birmingham Transit. Thank you.
thank you, Paulette and Gates. And I just have to tell you, not only these two retirees, but many retirees ring my phone at 7 in the morning saying that number 38 was doing this. So, and then I call Mike. And something truly Gabriel said, you know, as long as there's a progressive city, there'll be public transportation. So talking about that progressive city is our next speaker, City Councilman Marcus Lundy from Council District 9. He's a chair of the Economic Development Committee and a member of the Administration, Education, and Budget and Finance Committees. Councilor Lundy.
Thank you so much. This is a first for me to be at one of the quarterly employee safety town hall meetings. And I'm excited about the esprit de corps, the camaraderie, the simple fidelis, the togetherness, the unity that is shown, not just by you, the employees, but by the leadership of this organization. You know, I am a minister and a politician, so y'all messed around and gave me the microphone. So I think Ms. August said I had an hour and a half. No, I'll be brief. But today is Sunday, and many of us have gone to our respective places of worship to return thanks. But in Genesis, the 11th chapter, it talks about Nimrod building the Tower of Babel. And there, about the first verse of the 11th chapter, it says that the people were of one language and one speech. And it's clear that we as people have not oftentimes spoke the same language. And in fact, we've never all been on the same speech. But there are times when we have been. And at those times, we have provoked God. God is enthused about us when we come together in his name. And I feel wherever two or three are gathered, there he might also be. All right. So he is here today. Yes. And he is exemplified in the work and the work ethic of the people assembled here. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about the possibilities for this transit authority. Because you have come together at a time such as this. And Birmingham is on the cusp of great things. We've got great leadership in the mayor's office. And I'd like to think at least 8 of the councilors are great. Now, I don't know about this one. Y'all might say, well, you know, verdict ain't in on that rascal. But at least we got 8 of them that we know are moving in the same direction, trying to move this city forward. And I had the privilege of having an impromptu meeting with our executive director, Ms. August. And she said, Lundy, I need you to make it plain when you speak to the folks. So I'm going to do just that briefly. We are about to enter the city's budget cycle. We have some very tough decisions to make. But we were elected to do just that. And anything short of that, we will be letting you down. So I want you to know as we go into this budget season, that I do it with my mind stayed on you. The employees, whether you be maintenance, in the administration, might be an operator, no matter where you work, I'm doing that with my focus on the people. Because the people are the city, and the employees make up the integral part of what we do here at the Transit Authority. We've had a $13 million deficit this year. that we're probably gonna carry into next. That means we gotta make some tough calls. Imagine if you were at your house and you had $100, but you had $120 worth of bills. Well, now, many of us know that situation. Many of us know what it's like to rob from Ray Ray to pay Shanique. It's tough. You know, we had a proposed $384 million budget this year, and our income only came to $370 million, just over $370 million. So we came into the year thinking we were going to see additional revenues. Well, we did not. So as we go into next year, I'm of the opinion, and I only speak for Marcus London, that we manage ourselves accordingly. Because, you know, we're spending your money. Regardless of what the papers might write, this is your money. So we want to be responsible with your money, just like you are in your homes. So we got some tough calls to make. They're proposing from the administration to implement certain benefits, and it's going to be tough to see those benefits come to fruition when we carry a deficit from the previous year over. So I just want you to know as we go forward, everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean every department is going to feel the brunt of us having to be responsible about this budget. So if transit is asked to feel responsible, just know that every area of our city is going to ask to carry that same load. Because I was told today that we are one team. So if we are going to be one team with one focus and one vision, that ought to be to move this city forward. And we should all share in the progress of this city as well as in the shortcomings of this city. So when it's good for everybody. But when it's not so good, it's not so good for everybody. And that we should not show favoritism to any area or any citizen. Everybody should be treated fair and equal. So I just want you to know we do it from the council perspective, as your legislative body. We do it to move this city forward. And when you elect folks, sometimes they have to make tough calls. Your board members are here. I want to thank them because every day they make tough calls on your behalf. The leadership is present. Every day they make tough calls on your behalf. But as employees, you make tough calls as well. You know, you have to go to an area that floods if you're in maintenance. That's a tough call to work in substandard conditions. But you do it with pride. You do it with the people in mind. And it's not that City Hall is not aware of some of the issues that face our department. It's just that we have a limited amount of resources that have to be spread amongst all these departments. So what we've got to do, and there's a saying, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. So we got to do some things different. You know, Ms. August talked about going to the other municipalities. It's time they share the load. It's time that the county, now that they're out of bankruptcy, get back to their old funding levels. It's time that the governor care about the greatest city in this state and start putting money toward public transit in Birmingham. 51% of all revenue in this state comes out of the city of Birmingham. So you can add Huntsville, Mobile, Tuscaloosa, add them all together. They ain't greater than Birmingham. And as our union boss told us, it's time for the feds to step up. We need additional resources. The hydrogen bus that we have, the new buses that are on the routes, additional buses such as those. We need to be able to look at other capital expense like new maintenance facilities and things of that nature. Those types of funds come from the feds. You know, it's time for us to look at alternative ways of funding some of the things that we need without trying to get the lion's share from the local government. We've got to go to all these other folk who share in transit, but don't share the burden of transit. So I just want to stop by here today to let you know how grateful I am for you as employees, for you as retirees, you as administrators, and you as award recipients. I'm proud of all of you because in spite of life's obstacles, you come here every day and you give it 100%. So on behalf of Mayor William A. Bell Sr. and the Council of the City of Birmingham, I said thank you to you all. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Councilor. And as he mentioned, he talked about your money. We're moving next to talk about your money. We have a representative from Nationwide here to discuss the 457B employee benefits. His name is Selman Robbins. Selman.
Good afternoon. Employees, award winner, Ms. Adamson, congratulations. Just want to introduce myself real quick. I'm in the finance business. I just talk about numbers. I don't want to bore you all to death, but three things I want to cover. And first of all is I'm so proud and so blessed to be honored to be working for the Transit Authority as a partner, not a vendor. That's one of my pet peeves is once I get to work with a city or a county or an organization, we should work with county employees and city employees and authorities. I don't want to be on the outside trying to help. I want to be on the inside and partner up and getting to where you all want to go and use all my expertise and all my education to get you all there. What we do at Nationwide is a lot of things, but I'm one of the only Nationwide personnel that you'll see, individuals I don't sell insurance. I don't have an office. I just do what's called a 457B plan just for government employees. If I had $1 every time somebody asked me to give them an insurance quote, I retired last year, or 20 years ago. But I just do this one thing. I've been in Birmingham about 10 years, live in Irondale, from a military background and a city employee background. 3 grown kids. Actually, I have one child boomerang back. Y'all know what a boomerang child is? But she's graduating from Jeff State Nursing School, Lord willing, in December and get her pin on and shooting on down the road and do her thing. So I love her, she's my baby. One of the things that I wanted to talk to y'all about is deferred compensation. What it is delayed pay for you all. And I want to talk in generalities a little bit because the union employees are a little bit different retirement than the other employees, but hopefully I'll be able to affect both y'all in the near term. But this is like a side hustle. My brother, he's an electrician. He's always talking about side hustle. First time he said that to me, I said, man, is that legal? Is that a hustle? But what it is, y'all know what it is. It's a side job and little side extra money. Look at this program, this 401k type plan that's exclusively just for you all as a way to make extra money on the side, set aside, not to be touched until you separate service from the Transit Authority. It's a side hustle you don't have to spend time doing side things for. You just use your payroll deduct system to put money in and let it grow, let it accumulate, increase it a little bit every year, and you'll have a chunk of money, a lump sum amount of money that we don't normally have access to. Our Social Security is month to month, right? If it's there. Talk about the federal government a little bit with the councilman here. Pensions are month to month. This is your lump sum money that you can do things with. So look at it as a side hustle that you don't have to cut grass and do like my brother does. He pulls wires for an electrician after work and works after his work. So if you don't have time to do a lot of extra side hustles, use your paycheck to put money into this 401k type of account and let it work for you. That's my job. That's all I do. I'm on a salary just to do this. I get paid to do customer service. Not as good as Ms. Adamson, but I'm gonna try. Congratulations again to you. The last thing I want to do is talk about is a call to action. The call to action is, as soon as I come by your department, please listen to my 5-minute talk, sit with me afterwards one-on-one, and get yourself enrolled. The minimum is $10 a paycheck. That's about lunch these days, $10 with a tip. So start paying yourself. One of my heroes when I first came to Birmingham was Dr. Gaston, and y'all know what he said about part of everything you make is yours to keep. Amen. So that's, no truer words have been said about money. So use that to your advantage and use me to do that. I have some flyers with some information on the snack table back there, and I brought a door prize. It's about 50 pounds, so if you win it, you need somebody to help you carry it down. so I appreciate it. Ms. August, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Selman. Also, I wanted to remind you to make sure to get the Birmingham News today. It features Kiana Adamson calling her the queen of customer service. All right, now we're going to do some of the door prizes. Adrian has the tickets.
Before we get to the door prizes, I just want to mention a couple more things. When you came in the door, we had a safety and risk newsletter, which is something that we're going to be doing on a regular basis. And I thank Dale and the safety department for getting that out. Also, the hydroelectric bus has been on the South Loop for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and we're going to be placing it on other routes as well. Want to point out that the accident rate is climbing, so we need to cut back on things and pay attention to what we're doing in reference to that. Also, cell phone use. Please make sure that you understand cell phone use is a federal law. Do not use your cell phones when you're on that bus, okay? We don't want any $600,000 fines with operators pulling out that phone when they should not be using it at all, okay? We don't want to impose any policies on it. We want you to use common sense, okay? Also, we have 2 new buses that have already come in, which was 2 of 7, which was a grant that we were going to get ready to lose back in 2012. We were able to persuade or encourage, or any other word that you might want to come up with, the regional office to allow us not to lose that money. And so we were able to purchase 7 additional 20-passenger buses with that money. And so 2 of them have come in. We actually bought the vehicles off of the state contract. And so those vehicles, the only drawback about it is that we cannot use those vehicles in fixed route because the designation 4 or 5 years ago was commuter. So we are looking at, and we're going to be working with our planning department so we can begin to establish a airport route, picking up from the various areas like the hotels and going out to the airport as a commuter. So we got a lot of things on the drawing board. We're also working with the Claris Group. We're interviewing various businesses downtown. We're also interviewing counselors. We're interviewing the mayor. We've had focus groups with the restaurant merchants. We're going to be meeting on Monday with the Economic Development Group as well as the builders because there's a lot of things that's going on downtown that has not taken place over the last 15 years, and so we want to take advantage of it. Basically what it will do, it will change how our DART service actually looks and operate now. We've got to be more effective and efficient in what we're doing, and so we're going to all the masses to ask them what they want to see in transit services downtown. So you're going to start seeing a lot more information coming out regarding that. We got door prizes. A lot of the door prizes, let me tell you what happened in Kansas City. There is a swap meet that takes place. And at that swap meet is basically all your transit systems that come together, they come in and they bring items from their various different transit systems. And what happens is each operator or anybody that we have with us go around to those tables that they have set up and we swap out items. So we might take a t-shirt, they swap out with a hat, they might swap out with other things. So of course I had everyone that went with me hustling to pick up stuff so we can bring back here, so we can give to you guys as door prizes. So we didn't go buy anything, everything was actually swapped out. So we appreciate you taking the time, look at your tickets, and we're gonna start drawing numbers. We're gonna do it swiftly now. 2 or 3 at a time. Look at the numbers. This is gonna be the last prize. The prize that Selman brought is gonna be the last prize. Okay, first number, the last 4, 2040. 2040. 2040, there's in the bag, 2040, look at the ticket. 2069. Come quickly. 2069. Move your lose. 2069, look at the ticket. 2017. 2010. We put tickets in here when nobody was here. 2009. 2009. Oh, you're walking kind of slow.
We're gonna get rich.
Okay. 2010. 2010. Well, I guess you'll get a lunch bag. 2044. Got pretty high. 2044. 2073.
party, man.